Tulasi Kusuma Prakyam Krishnam Kamalalocanam Sharat Parvana Chandrasyam Dhritavasam Manoharam Pitavastra Paridhanam Vanamala Virajitam Sri Vatsa Kus.
Shiva, please come. Shiva. Please. Okay. Come.
I am the bird of the cosmos. I'm time eternity, like diamonds on a necklace. The stars are held by me. I am the essence of the water, the shining of the sun, the dweller in the body, the soul of everyone. Oh Lord, from me now our man is made free, from anger be free, from greed be free, and free from desire to fix thou your mind upon
Haribol, everyone. Haribol. Let us start off with a chant, traditional chant. If you know it, chant along. Om Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I salute Lord Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the bliss of Devaki, the one who killed the wicked Kamsa and Chanura, and who was a universal teacher. Thank you everyone for coming today on this auspicious day on Krishna's birthday, and also it happens to be the founding day of the San Diego Monastery. We actually are founded in 1983, and so this has a special meaning to us. So today we have a very, very wonderful program. We're going to have some various Swamis speak to you, and also some Kirtans from Kali Mandir. So let me first start by introducing Swami Sarvadevananda. Some of you are new. He's the Swami who's in charge of the Vedanta Southern California, Vedanta Studies of Southern California. We are one of the Southern California centers, and also many other centers all over the USA that he's in charge of. So Swami Sarvadevananda.
So, we have assembled here today to celebrate the Sri Krishna birthday. And this month is auspicious month. Of course, today is not the exact date, but we are celebrating. That's why we are celebrating on the weekend Sunday. Today, we have a worship of the puja and wonderful music. See, Nanda Nandana is such a wonderful, it enchants the heart. So Krishna is to enchant our heart. And Krishna's birthday means to celebrate that joy which is inside us to open up. So Krishna, as you know, is an ideal of human personality. Krishna came to give us the challenges to how to face the challenges of life. Sri Krishna is born, he is not given the advice of Bhagavad Gita in a very serene atmosphere in the holy land and in a meditative pose in a tapovan or in a forest or meditating. No, advice was given in the field where there is a warrior, life and death question. We in our life face those challenges, and Sri Krishna gave us how to face those challenges in life when we have to face it. Not a cowardice, and not to run away, but to face it properly, do the dharma, do the responsibility, little bit for your own responsibilities, don't run away from that, and know that this world is a play of the gunas. Guna, guneshu vartanta. Gunas are playing with the gunas. Even the Atman is free. That is the highest message. Even in the relative level of our day-to-day fighting and facing the very difficult challenges of life, he brings us courage and strength how to live in the life. And his own life is an example. But we preach sometimes many things, but we cannot put into life. Krishna is adored because he lived that life. Shankaracharya defined as such a Bhagavan. He is not an ordinary, he is a Bhagavan. In the Bhagavad it is said, others are part, but Krishna is the whole manifestation of the divinity. So here we can find him in the serene atmosphere of the Vrindavan, where only love, unconditional love for God, unconditional love for the divine, how it can be demonstrated. At the same time, he gave a love a different connotation. Love means attachment, we know, but he taught total detachment. Love and detachment. How can that go together? Look at that, the Vrindavan and we all Radha, Krishna and all, we are very enchanted. But look at the life of Krishna and the gopis. When they are only 12 years, the play is done. And almost after 12 or 13 years, he left Vrindavan forever. And see, and the intense love, unconditional love, how it can be manifested in life. If we look at Sri Krishna's life, we can find an example there, and which surpasses all types of spiritual practice of devotion. No? Only giving and detachment. We always think love means how can I love unless I am attached. Here Sri Krishna teaches how can I love most and detach. As much detachment you have, that much is your love. Sri Krishna's wonderful teaching and whole Bhagavad Gita teaching. Face the challenges. Success comes, failure comes. What is there in it? If success comes, okay, you enjoy. If it does not, you go to heaven because you are a dharmic person. You have done your best. So you are not losing anything. What is the use of crying and always saying, ha ha, ha, my problem, my problem, my problem? So Krishna and Vivekananda stands there in the same tune to face and boldly to move on, not arrogance, but depending on God. There are many conditions. So make a success. People will be saying, Krishna says, oh, you don't work only work sake. I have no goal, how can I work? Yes, Krishna does not say that we should not have the goal, but goal will be there and effort should be there, perfect effort. But at the same time, if you reach, be excited. If it's not, be excited. Then you have done your best. So here is the life of Krishna which stands before us. He is perfect in all areas. And when he is fighting with detachment, giving shelter to the oppressed people, destroying the demons from the very childhood, and after killing all the demons as if nothing has happened. The baby Krishna is fighting, and that Rakshasi comes and kills, and he kills him. But after killing, as if nothing has happened. He's totally detached. The boy has done nothing. And mother is thinking, oh my God, the boy would have been killed by anyhow. God has saved. But you see, doing everything at the same time, every moment, free and detached. That is called the freedom. We need to learn this idea of freedom from Sri Krishna. So I won't take, because you hear me all the time. Here is our guest Swami. He is from Singapore. He comes from Japan. And Swami Sarbo Lokananda.
Satya
Lokananda. Satya Lokananda ji, and he has come, and he has a good opportunity that we got him today here also. So I said that he will be speaking on Krishna. Thank you. Come, please welcome.
So you are revered Sarvadevananda ji, and then brother monks, Brahmachari, Brahmacharini, and dear devotees. So, our Blossom Maharaj introduced me. I was the assistant of heavyweight spiritual giant. He said, I am a very lightweight. And then suddenly I was asked to speak. But our Sarvadevananda spoke the gist of Sri Krishna's life and teaching. So I am in a difficult position. That also within few minutes I have to finish. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed bhajan. And then I was imagining seeing the Raja Maharaj's photo and then Sri Ramakrishna's photo. They would be dancing. See, as you know, Ramakrishna danced, Raja Maharaj danced, and then Krishna, Sri Ramakrishna, stand for Ananda, bliss. Always in Samadhi was Sri Ramakrishna. And then Krishna, one of the most unique personality in spiritual life of the world. You cannot find such a person because of his richness, multi-sidedness. As Maharaj said, in Vrindavan, he was a lovely, mischievous child, attracted everybody. Boys, girls, adults. That life attracts you, bhakta, and saints. Other side, Sri Krishna of Mahabharata. He was as a kingmaker or diplomat, wise advisor, philosopher, and then gave the wonderful teachings to Arjuna. In that, intellectuals, philosophers, they were attracted. The best brain the world produced is Shankara. Shankara's explanation of the Gita, you'll find very clearly he states what? Not only Shankara, the successors, Ramakrishna, Madhva, their own way they interpreted. What we learn, as Sarvadevananda said, detachment. But we have to work. He has presented in a very practical way, which we can learn. Swami Vivekananda, his idea was what? Practical Vedanta. The best practical Vedanta text is Gita. You can find many places which you can learn to apply day-to-day life. That is wonderful. Actually, there are so many people who are applying that. As Maharaj said, do not bother failure. You have to have the attitude of karma yogi. Karma yogi means what? Not a volunteer, but we are sadhakas. As a sadhaka, what is most important? Process is important. Attitude is important. If you're detached to everything, whether result is success or failure, okay. I have done my sadhana. By that, by detached attitude, our karma is purified. We grow. And Shri Krishna assures in many places, whatever you do, never it is wasted. That will accrue to you, your future life. So, when I first read, while I was a student in Japan, Bhagavad Gita, translated by Prabhavanandaji and Christopher Isherwood, chapter 2, when I read, I was so relieved. Why? Because though in Japan, Buddhism is very popular. Majority of Buddhists, but just for namesake. Why I say so? During funeral time, they go to temple and they ask priest to do ceremony. Shraddha. That is the main duty of Buddhist priests. So I never thought Buddhism will give the answer to our question of life and death. But later I did learn the Buddhism also offers wonderful. But about karma, we had very, very hazy ideas. But when I read, you are not this body, neither mind, you are soul. You will never die. Then why should worry? Why should worry? We are eternal. So sometimes people come and ask, what do you think about doomsday? Swamiji, one day this earth will go and they are coming, and then sometimes they say 2020, all things will disappear. I say, why do you worry? Who are you? What is your real nature? See, whether earth goes away or from some other planet, the alien attacks you, don't worry. You will never die. You are eternal. So, this is the message of Shri Krishna. And then, always remember, see, I'm sure Sarvadevananda must have told, the last word, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Tatra Yatra Krishna Partha Dhanrudaraha Tatra Shri Vijayo Dhruva Nitir Matirumama. So, work only will not do. Work is Arjuna. Arjuna stands for that. But Krishna's wisdom we have to carry wherever you go. Then success will come to you. Shri will come. Auspiciousness, welfare, success. Vijayo, success. Then needed, that is justice. All will come to you. So, thank you very much.
My pranams to Swami Sarvadevananda. Today it's kind of a very wonderful ambience here. We had the puja, that's the karma, and puja is always mixed with yoga. So we had karma, and then we had yoga, then we had Satyakananda, who's come all the way from Singapore, and he gave us some Jnana Yoga. And we had the Kali Mandir sadhus, who gave the Bhakti Yoga. And imagine Kali Mandir and singing about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Krishna, Kali, Krishna. Great harmony of the yogas and of all the kind of doctrines. We have a perfect blend of harmony because Sri Krishna was the great prophet of harmony. My pranams to all sadhus, to Mataji, to Harinamananda, which it's wonderful to have him celebrating this on a Sri Krishna Puja. Hari, Hari, Hari. Atmaram, Swami Mahayogananda, Swami Bhajanananda, Swami Ambikananda, Mataji. So my pranams and to all Panchatapa Brahmacharini and all of us here. We are taking you to a kind of a...
You go, Mark.
Yeah.
It's too high clips.
I'll explain to you what exactly happened later on. I can use some of this kind of disruption here. So Ramakrishna's Vrindavan. Previously it was Sri Krishna's Vrindavan. Yeah. And something like this happened. Why amongst the many sacred places in the entire world is Vrindavan special? It was something like this. Why? And manifestation of divinity. Divinity is most manifest at the place and during the time of Avatar's descent. That divine presence lingers on for thousands of years in those places, making it holy. That is what makes a place special. And then what happens is, it is this divinity that draws souls that seek spirituality and freedom, and these souls intensify the spirituality of those sacred places. So Vrindavan is a tirtha. Tirtha means to ford, to cross over. It is generally translated as pilgrimage. So Vrindavan is a tirtha. Souls cross over from one plane of existence to a higher one. Vrindavan has been a tirtha par excellence since times of Sri Krishna. I remember when I had first been to Vrindavan, I was so disgusted. The dirt and the flies and the mosquitoes and the people and the crowds and, oh God, I said, I'm not coming back again. But my better sense prevailed. I said, there must be something here that's drawing people. What draws people? What draws souls? And it's like this. We have this kind of churning going on. Here we have, there's nothing new in this universe. The same applies to Ramakrishna and Vrindavan. Sri Ramakrishna says that the same moon rises every day. Similarly, that the same God descends every time. Only the name and form and time and space becomes different. So what was attracting people was this. Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Krishna, Rama and Krishna as avatars manifested so much spiritual energy that even today, after thousands of years, that energy has been leading souls to perfection or liberation. It is actually, this is what draws people. And the true avatars, oh my God, even today, people, it's just Rama and Krishna has just got into their bloodstream. It's simply, they just cannot get it out from there. So Rama and Krishna is like entered the very bones and marrow of India, molding metaphysics and society and art and literature, philosophies, mythologies, rituals, music, dance, drama, in short, the whole of Indian life has been molded by these two incarnations. You don't know how the imagination of it, we just cannot think without bringing these two avatars in the picture. We are basing all our thoughts, all our actions through these. And here we are talking about Sri Krishna is a perfect householder, perfect sannyasi, perfect soldier, perfect king. He was perfection, and he has left such a high, you can say, standard for all of us. There we are. And how do we approach that perfection? Through love, of course. And that's what he has taught us. So these are the two ancient places, Ayodhya on the right and here on the left, Vrindavan. So just to give you a kind of perspective. Why is all this explanation necessary for the theme Ramakrishna's Vrindavan? Well, both not far from each other, both were born. The timeline for both is different, however, separated by a few thousand years. Both these ancient cities still exist and are places of spiritual, cultural significance. They are major centers of pilgrimage. And here, millions of people seeking merit through pilgrimages or desiring devotion or searching for liberation come to these holy places. It is this what was here. It's 7 miles from what is called Mathura. That's a Mathura. That's an old place. And this is one of the old pictures of old Mathura, the banks of the Yamuna. And Sitaram's Ayodhya is about 330 miles from Vrindavan. It's in the same state of Uttar Pradesh right now. Both were, as I said, warriors, both were noble kings. And even today, people see these spiritual forms of Rama and Krishna in Ayodhya and Vrindavan respect. So, this is actually what happens. When that spiritual energy that has been released has congealed over the ages, people still see these forms of Rama and Krishna in Vrindavan. There are thousands and thousands of stories where ordinary people see these forms. They also, these things, they draw people through dreams, through visions, or to a feeling of devotion, devotees. I used to feel that people are just cheaply coming around and making a big show of devotion. Later on, I was wrong then, and I said, yes, this is what it is. And in fact, the old idea of pilgrimage is, until unless that deity calls you, you shouldn't go there. So the deities do call us. Like I said, through dreams or through visions or reading something, you feel a kind of inner call. That is what draws people. So the music, dance, dramas, etc., they are the external manifestations of devotion, and temples and all these tirthas and parikramas are even more external forms. This is a small town, 1,000 temples, and the residents are outnumbered by the pilgrims. This is one of the temples of Vrindavan. It caters. It's not only for a certain class of people or certain type of devotees, but it caters to all people here. Now, to come back to whether this thing was there or no, just look at the kind of history down here, that to ascertain the age of this any kind of incarnation is difficult. But there was a great war called the Mahabharata War, and it has been mentioned in almost all the other literature, subsequent literature. We have Arjuna's grandson, when he ascended the throne, Parikshit, that was the start of the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga, if it is that Kali Yuga, then the tradition is 3102 before Common Era. That was the start of the Kali Yuga. So this was given by a very famous astronomer and mathematician called Aryabhatta. The second date given is 2449 before Common Era by Vriddhagarga, Varahamira and Kalhana. This is more authentic than this. But today, generally, the modern scholarship puts the date of the Mahabharata war at 1400 before Common Era. This is, so if this war took place, a kind of a huge massacre, then Sri Krishna was in the very center of this doing. So the consensus is in favor of it's Vasudeva or Vasudeva, the Yadava hero, the cowherd boy of Krishna of Gokula, the sage mentioned in the Upanishads. So he had gone to the Sandipan Rishi's ashram, where he was mentioned as Krishna Ghora in the Chandogya Upanishad. So the wise counselor of the Pandavas, 5 princes, the great philosopher, sage of the Bhagavad Gita are the same person. So we have the Greeks, when Alexander had come towards the north, he defeated a small king called Porus, and his general said, let's go back. There's too much of water, many rains, and too much of muck, and too much of flies, and too many people everywhere. India was populous even in those days. So he had left a kind of a garrison, not only garrison, there was a huge Greek settlement there. India was ruled during that time by Chandragupta Maurya, who was one of the largest, you can say, dynasties in ancient India. This was Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador. So he mentions in the books that, they had Hercules. The Harikulesha, actually, Krishna, Hercules, was worshipped by Saura Senoi, the Sura Senas. They are the local people there. In the land of the two great cities called Mathura, and Krishnapura. So this is mentioned in the Greek, you can say, history. And he also mentions that this Krishna Vasudeva was the central deity of the sect called the Bhagavatam sect. The sect that we have today, it's a very large ancient sect, the worshippers of Vishnu. And Bhagavatam is their the main scripture. So here it is, Megasthenes was the emperor. So that was the ancient Greek settlement. And Chandragupta Maurya's capital was Pataliputra, which is now present Patna. So this is very strange. Vrindavan was forgotten. Various invasions rolled over and temples were destroyed, everything destroyed. And here we have people converge, the ancient places associated with Sri Krishna's early life were abandoned, and a forest now took over, and the place was covered by huge trees. In the year 1515, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Vrindavan with the purpose of locating the lost holy places associated with Krishna's life. Chaitanya wandered through the forest of Vrindavan in a spiritual trance. By his spiritual power, he was able to locate all the important places of Krishna's pastime in and around Vrindavan. This is what I had a small thing. Chaitanya, he went and saw that old spiritual, you can say, heat, or you can say the ambience, the tanmatra as they call it, the aura, still lingering. And he actually rediscovered Vrindavan. And Chaitanya is associated with the life of Ramakrishna. In fact, the first intimations of Chaitanya's, Sri Ramakrishna's divinity was through the Bhairavi Brahmani, who noticed that the signs of Mahabhava, that's a great, you can say, spiritual current that is in the body, in Ramakrishna's body and mind, corresponded with that of Chaitanya as well as of Sri Radha, the playmate of Sri Krishna and Vrindavan. So this is the connection now we are trying to bring with Ramakrishna. So Chaitanya, as we know, is the God of love, and he preached the love of God. Ramakrishna, in another paradoxical case, was instrumental in rediscovering the places associated with Chaitanya during a pilgrimage in Navadvip, Bengal. Like Chaitanya rediscovered Vrindavan, here Sri Ramakrishna rediscovered, as they say, Sri Ramakrishna rediscovered, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rediscovered Vrindavan, and Sri Ramakrishna rediscovered the Navadvip, the Nadia. Here, this is original place was submerged under Ramakrishna had a vision that revealed. Ramakrishna says, I was about to board the boat to return. I had a beautiful vision of two boys, bright as molten gold, very beautiful. They rushed towards me in midair and entered my body. So this was the place where Ramakrishna, he had a vision of this. This was the place where, the original place where Chaitanya, Vrindavan, Navadvip was. Now it's submerged under the river Ganga. And this is Chaitanya and Nityananda. The vision took place here. So here at Ramakrishna's pilgrimage now, Mathur Babu decided to visit the places connected with, the holy places connected with the God. And in 1868, Mathur Babu left there for those places. There were over 100 people in their entourage, including staff and armed guards. And this is the first place they stopped at, Baidyanath, Vrindavan. Baidyanath at Devgarh. So here, this is, and this was the first place where Ramakrishna began the work called the disaster management or disaster relief work. So it was here. So this is the deity. The second place I visited was, of course, Varanasi, city of Shiva. And the cremation ghats at Vesper time at Varanasi. And it's a beautiful. Here he had a vision of Shiva and the mother Mahakali. This was the temple spires of Vishwanath, and that was the place where Ramakrishna was put up there, at the right. So here, like I said, here Sri Ramakrishna experienced a holy city made of light. He found that the whole city was actually made of spiritual light. It was actually the body of Shiva. Yes, and that's the old name of Kashi. Kash means light. So that was the whole, and his mind just couldn't come down. He saw the whole city as the body of Shiva. And here he saw, in this cremation ground called the Manikarnika, which is mentioned even in the oldest, you can say, Puranas, mythology, where Shiva, he grants liberation to souls. And he saw Mahakali as unknotting those karma bonds, and Shiva giving the mantra, and souls are being released. They came to Prayag, which was now called Allahabad. The old name was Prayagraj. This is, Sri Ramakrishna had a dip here in the Ganga, Jamuna, and the hidden Saraswati. And these three rivers have been also mentioned not only in all the Puranas and in subsequent literature, but Swami Vijnanananda, one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, he saw the goddess with 3 braids of hair. 3 braids, the Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati. Then he realized, oh, this is what it is. So everyone they shaved their head off. That's the rule there. But Sri Ramakrishna says, no, I don't have to do that because I'm a sannyasi. Yeah, they reach Dhruva Ghat. Ramakrishna had a vision of Vasudeva carrying the baby Krishna across the Yamuna, as mentioned in the scriptures, in the Bhagavatam. When they escaped from the prison where he was born, and the Yamuna river was in spate, and he crossed over. It was raining. He put Krishna in a small kind of basket, carried on his head. Here, Ramakrishna had that vision of the river. This is Ramakrishna's house where he stayed. This is still existing. It's near Nidhuvan. And here, these are the 3 places: Shamakunda, Radhakunda, 2 sacred spots, ponds associated with Krishna and Ramakrishna, that Ramakrishna visited during the Kalyadaman. The Kalyadaman Ghat, that's a typo there. That's where the serpent Kalya was, you can say, conquered by Shri Krishna, the child. And he became like childlike, Shri Ramakrishna. And Hriday was, had to help him take his bath. And these are Shamkund and Radhakund, which Ramakrishna visited. This is the Govardhan Hill. When I went there, it was, people had taken so much of clay from that hill, things like it is now just a small mold. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Yeah, there. And that clay has gone all over the world now. Sri Ramakrishna also bought there was the clay from Vrindavan and spread it around the Panchavati. And he said, this Panchavati is now as sacred as Vrindavan. So here we have. And Ramakrishna experienced Samadhi at the site of this form of Krishna called Banke Bihari. This is what. Even today, if you if you keep on just staring at that deity, you might think it's an optical illusion, but it's not. You might get, if you're pure enough and God is gracious enough, you'll get a kind of a vision there. This is Banke Bihari temple. This is the circumambulatory path of Vrindavan. Millions undertake the auspice. Millions. They go around the city. And this is a well-defined path. Even Swami Sarvadevananda, he also had undertaken this path, and some of the other direct disciples. Yeah, this is devotees of Krishna. There, Sri Ramakrishna wore the garb of Vaishnava, and for 15 days, with that mark and then with the beads, and he followed all the rules of the Vaishnavas. Some of the devotees. We have some over here also. Govindaji, I did not want to visit Govindaji in the temple twice. That is because of the tremendous spiritual fervor he experienced during the first time. He was afraid that his body might just shatter. This is how he traveled. I've just given a few pictures of a palanquin. So this is how they used to travel. I mean, the holy, the elites or something like that. So that's the way Sri Ramakrishna was traveling around Vrindavan in a palanquin. Yeah, this is another Ganga Mata. We don't have any pictures of Ganga Mata, but then this is the place where she used to live, Nidhuvan, who had attained a very high level of spirituality. And in fact, she was insistent that Sri Ramakrishna lived there And even Sri Ramakrishna wanted to stay there. Then Hriday said, what about your mother? In Dakshineshwar. Oh, he said, okay, fine, let's go back. But he did say that she had attained a very high level of spirituality. And she was the one who recognized him as having those Mahabhava, those you can say as a Lakshana, as they say, the signs of a person who is established in Mahabhava. In Mahabhava, what it is actually, the mind does not come below the the throat. It doesn't come. So when we read about Ramakrishna's, all his gospel, his teachings and all, he has spoken from this level. He has not spoken from here, from there, all these stuff. No. All scriptures are spoken from this level. So she realized he was, she used to call him Dulali. That is one name of Radha. So here Sri Ramakrishna saw many holy men who sat repeating the name of God with their backs to the street, and just to avoid people. And he loved these old sadhus staying out there. There we have the author of Sri Ramakrishna's divine play, that is the great master, writes, the master was firmly convinced that he who was born in previous ages as Ramchandra, Krishna, Gauranga, that is Chaitanya, and others had descended to the world in his own body. So he was not only convinced, he realized that all these divinities were now there in his body, sporting in his body. He also had, when he was in Dakshineshwar, had a constant vision of Rama as a child, called Ramlala, and Gopala. And there was another Gopalir Ma who had a constant vision of Gopala as Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna as Gopala. So here we have all the three deities merging. And even M, the author of the gospel, says, I think you are Chaitanya and Christ and all. He's saying, you have all come together. So Ramakrishna said, yes, it's all one. Sri Ramakrishna says the Nitya, eternal, and the Leela, play of the eternal, are both the same. Both are real. The eternal God repeatedly descends to our world and enacts the Leela in different ages and different names and different forms. Here we have. Where does this? Here. This is the concept which in the morning Ananda was singing about the Vrindavan of the heart. This is the Hriday Vrindavan. Where does Krishna live? Where does Ramakrishna live? In your own hearts. So each heart is the Vrindavan where Sri Krishna or Sri Ramakrishna is eternally present and is enacting his Leela. This is the real Ramakrishna's Vrindavan. Your heart is the real Ramakrishna's Vrindavan. And you are his playmate. You are his eternal playmate. And when he has to descend to this world, where does he descend from? From our own hearts. Because we pray to God. Where does God dwell? In your own hearts. Does he listen to your prayers? Yes, because he's the nearest of the near. It is the core of your being, and that's where this place, as I say, it's called a Golaka. There's an external Golaka, but there's where Krishna, made of consciousness, the devotee is consciousness, the place is consciousness. This is the play that is eternally going on in each and every heart. So Sri Krishna's Vrindavan, Ramakrishna's Vrindavan, there in your own heart. And you are his eternal playmate. Thank you very much.
So I close with a chant. What to say? What chant? O Geetam Shantam Madhuram Apiya
Singhanadam Jagarja Soyam Jata Pratita Purusha Ramakrishna Stvidanim. He who was Rama, he was Krishna, he is Ramakrishna, and he is renowned as Ramakrishna at this age. So we salute him again and again. Thank you all.